You can't sit there in common sense and go that this guy is full of crap, because he's not. He's got a really valid point. All that does is erode the trust in your business and the integrity of your business, because people would be thinking now, okay, if they're going to do this, what else will they do in the future? It makes us ask, do we keep using this software? It beggars belief. Did they let the intern make the decision on that one? I don't know.
Hello and welcome to Minecraft Lab, where we explore, experiment, and theorize about all things Minecraft. I am Minor Thoughts. With me, yet again, is the man of the future.
The man of the future. The Troge. How are you, Minor? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year to you. We've got a hot topic to talk about. I've been following a story which affects us. A lot of what we talk about on this channel is not only Minecraft, but Minecraft content creators and what we go through, different things we deal with as content creators. And this latest story is about an editor, a video editor that we all...
A program.
Well, not an editor. A program that... Software, yes. That's a bunch of us use. Myself, yourself. The program we're talking about is Filmora from Wondershare.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of drama going on with that right now.
There is, and it's an interesting one. And you and I, when we talked about, should we cover this topic, we thought, but it's not Minecraft related. But as you said, not directly, but it is definitely content creation centered.
Right.
Because as you said, I use it. I believe you use it. I think there's a lot of the other Interrealms players use it, and there's a lot of content creators, not just Minecraft creators, but others as well that use this software. And the way they're acting at the moment is, I've got to be careful what I say here based on one of their more recent tweets, but the way they have been acting raises eyebrows.
Right. So just to fill you in on those that are listening or watching this, what is going on is I initially bought Filmora because it was a program that was easy to use. The learning curve wasn't steep like something like DaVinci or even Premiere Pro from Adobe. It was easy to pick up and learn. It's a really good program. So when I first got it, they had what was called a lifetime license, which means for a flat fee, you would get the upgrades as they came out, or the updates. So I think I bought it during Filmora 8 or 9 lifetime license, and so far I've gotten every single update since then, from 10, or Filmora X is what they called it, and then 11. But with this latest one, it's a little bit sketchy the way they're going about it. Filmora 12, when you log in and go to upgrade, they say there will be a fee to update, but for an upgrade. And I'm still trying to figure all this out. There is a YouTuber that I found out about it, Daniel Patel. And he is he covers content creation. He was a ambassador for Wondershare. He was sponsored by Wondershare and did several different tutorials on the use of their software. So he had a relationship with them. And when they kind of did this change in policy, this change in the way they license it, I guess the UELA, whatever that means, I'm not sure with all those legal terms, but it all deals with the licensing. He said they over time have reworded it to do away with the lifetime licenses.
Yeah, and so I think there's two parts to it, because there's two avenues. So you've got you took the lifetime one. I never did that. I thought I did, but it turns out I didn't. I've just been paying by the year, and I never bothered to change it or look it up. So all the thoughts that I'm going to express in our chat is on a bigger picture, because it does make no difference to me, because I just keep paying by the year and get, each different thing. I guess for me that there's two parts to this. The first one is, I guess, I can understand them as a company getting rid of offering lifetime deals where you get continuous upgrades for free, never paying again. Because when a company starts out that's in development, they're small, they're tiny, and that's a good way for them to get through some good revenue to start up and, to kickstart, right? But as the company gets bigger and development costs increase, and this Filmora 12 is a big let's call it an update. That's what it is, right? I'm not going to get into their semantics of update, upgrade words, right? We'll discuss that later. It's an update. It's a big update. So obviously I understand why from a business perspective, they would stop offering new lifetime deals. I get that. It makes sense. And I use on our Discord chat, I use the example. It's like EA Sports coming out and going, the FIFA soccer video game, right? FIFA football. You've bought it in FIFA. You bought FIFA 13. Are you entitled to get a free new game every year because you bought it back then? So I don't have a problem with them changing that philosophy. It's just offering you annual plans or buy it once or whatever. I got no problems with that. What I have a problem with is when a company comes out in the early days and there's early adopters like this Daniel Battelle, like yourself, have come along and gone, oh, there's a lifetime license here. We're going to grab that. And then years down the track, the company goes, well, we're now going to throw around changing of words. This is not an update, it's an upgrade. And that doesn't sit well with me when a company does that. That is not the right way to do business. And I can fully understand why there are so many people getting worked up about it. And then when they're called out about it, they don't go, whoa, hang on, we've made the wrong call here. They double down on it. No, don't just double down on it when they're called out again. They triple down on it, which we'll probably talk about in a minute as well. It's just like, how far can they go before they pull up?
Well, just before recording this podcast, I had went over to Twitter to see what was going on, in their Twitter feed, if people were calling them out as well, Daniel Battelle as well as others. And I don't want to say that they saw the error of their ways, because there are two parts to the tweet.
Well, before you jump into that, for those that are listening or watching, and by the way, welcome to YouTube with the podcast. This is a bit different for us, the way we're doing it now, which we'll probably cover at the end after this discussion, because we were so keen to get into this topic.
Right. Yeah. We were itching to
dive
into this.
It's been 2 months since we've recorded a podcast, and we've been sort of chomping at the bits to get back into it. And welcome back to season 2, by the way, of Minecraft Lab. Right, so they had they were offering their lifetime things, and all of a sudden, without warning, without notification, they've changed it. All the people that had lifetime updates that have been upgrading from 9, 10, 11, all of a sudden they can't. Daniel Battelle, who I think he's got about 260,000 subscribers, was their first brand ambassador for Filmora, for Wondershare, was making probably, their biggest contribution towards growth, because he was making tutorials, some of which I've used because they're really good. He put a video out saying basically, hey, Wondershare, this is not right. This is not good. They didn't listen. So he made a follow-up video, and then they've gone and whacked him with a DMCA strike on his channel for a video that they paid him to make 2 years ago.
Right. And I found out what it was. It was an asset that they sent him to use, and he clearly says that sponsored by Filmora, and that's what they're claiming.
Well, see, his videos were very good. They were very thorough and very to the point, that he went back in time through various websites. They can look at historical versions of websites, found all the documentation from when he signed up that very clearly point out that they have said that you will get free updates for life if you by once. So he made very good, clear, concise videos. And I honestly feel at the time when his first 1 or 2 videos came out, he was definitely just trying to get the word out there and say, hey, Wondershare, Filmora, this is not right. You know, do the right thing. And this is where it irritates me as someone who owns a business, has owned multiple businesses, and customer service and customer care is a very good thing. And especially, you know, my business isn't in the social sphere where you're dealing with social media personalities who do editing and social media and content creation. That's a little thing's going to go really quickly. Their response to him was like their email responses to him were quite shocking in the terms of the way they were trying to dance around their words and, you know, saying, you know, substituting the word update for upgrade. And again, I get all of that from the perspective of we're no longer going to be offering lifetime buy one, get it free forever. I understand that, right? Yeah, no problem. So when he then did another follow-up video and they hit him with this, what is it? It's a copyright strike. Because obviously if you don't know about YouTube, you know, you get 3 of these strikes on your channel is cactus and you're done. And I think once you lose a channel, you can't have another one. You know, so that's his livelihood that they're playing with here. It just smacked of bullying tactic to shut the guy up.
Right.
Because they knew he was onto something. That you can't sit there in common sense and go that this guy is full of crap, because he's not. He's got a really valid point, as do all of these other people that are jumping on his Twitter posts going, you know, this is not on Wondershare. It's not on at all.
Now following him on Twitter and Filmora just to get, you know, how this progresses. He is a social media influencer. Part of what he does is to educate people on social media growth, and you know, so he influenced a lot of people to go out and buy Filmora, buy the lifetime license, because he was putting out quality content. Is advertising for Filmora, and now they come back and pull the rug out from under him. I don't understand what they're thinking.
Well, I don't believe he's a brand ambassador anymore. I think it was just that 1 year thing, if I'm listening and understanding his videos correctly. Now, I've watched him being a subscriber of his ever since I've started using Filmora, because, you know, I wanted to know how to do certain things, and he was the go-to channel for it, and still is for the most part. So I don't think he's a brand ambassador anymore. But you're right. You know, when you've agreed to sponsor or agreed to a sponsorship, and if you look above my head over here on the video, you know, you'll see the G Portal logo, which sponsors Interrealms. It sponsors the DTG Family Gaming channel and the offshoots of that. So if you're putting your name behind a brand, you have to be confident that that brand's not going to destroy your name with whatever decisions they make, past or present, because your branding is all over past videos. You can't go back in time and take that away. You can delete videos, but once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. And people know that you're associated with that company. Whether you are current deal or not, you've got that association. And I think he was very open and honest in his video where he was coming from, was that, you know, as you just rightly said, thousands of people probably bought this program based on his recommendation and suggestion to go for the lifetime deal. And now all of a sudden, his word's worth nothing because they've made this terrible decision. And what irritates me even more is that they keep going and they try to put him down, and then try the subtle shut up technique to bully him into it. What are they thinking? Are they honestly thinking that someone is just going to shut up at that point? Or are they going to further make them look like they're making the terrible decision that they are? It beggars belief. Did they let the intern make the decision on that one? I don't know. They should have immediately, once that started blowing up, and I believe it really blew up probably from his channel first. Once this problem started blowing up, if you are the owner of a company or you're a shareholder or something, or whatever their business model is, would you not be going, oh, hell, help me here. We got to put a stop to this. No, let's go throw some kerosene on the fire.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to the you know, it's in his profile that he calls himself an influencer. He, you know as well as I do that social media can influence people's opinions. So if he's saying, you know, he's influencing people to take a closer look at Filmora and maybe, you know, question their decisions. Yeah, of course it's going to blow up in Filmora's face.
Well, it was kind of funny. I think it might have been after his second video when he'd sort of got a bit of pushback from them. And right at the end, he goes, and just as a side note, this video was actually edited in DaVinci Resolve, totally free. And I thought, poke the bear, poke the bear. Go on, poke it. But just, I guess, to go back to one of your initial comments, Miner, it is actually a great piece of software. It is fantastic. Right. People don't know this. I've been making videos, not necessarily for YouTube, but for different gaming related stuff for, how long have I known Keegas for? 15 years, 16 years, going back to old games that we used to play. They never saw the light of day, but I used to use video editing software for this sort of stuff. So I've used Sony Vegas. I've used some stuff that don't exist anymore. When we started up the YouTube channels, I used DaVinci Resolve because it was free. And that is actually a good program too, but the learning curve on it is like this. Then I think it was Cubsy, maybe in the first one the first one that I noticed that used it, and I asked what it was, and he told me, and then I think you were using it as well, and Jurassics was using it, and I was like, all right, let's go have a look. And it honestly sped up my workflow of editing immensely because it was more I found it more intuitive, it was user-friendly, and you could get effects and that off their library to use on the video, which saves so much time. Instead of having to go find stuff, it was right there.
Right.
You know, you didn't have to learn how to do it. You could drop and drag and you've got a lightning bolt going through your video, right? So I thought that it is a very good piece of software, but trust and integrity, it doesn't matter how good your product is. In business, trust and integrity is the most important bit. Now, it doesn't matter what they do now, right? And we'll get into what they've done now, and I don't really think they've resolved the issue because they tried to resolve it and lit another fire.
There was two sides to that response.
there was, and I really want to deep dive that one as well, and I want to have a spray at that because that was just ridiculous. When you own a business, trust and integrity and your word is really the only thing that you've got. Because it doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether you're a video editing software, whether you're a mining company, whatever, right? You've got competitors. There's always another option for people to go to. Always. Doesn't matter what field of business you are in. If you lose the trust and integrity, which is your main focus point, shut up shop. You are gone. It was bad enough, you know, that they've turned around and tried to do this dodgy deal, so to speak, from people that have had their lifetime one, but then to double down on it, try bullying tactics, and then go on to actually put a threat out in public against everyone else. I don't understand what they're thinking. I really don't. They've got a great product that keeps every release, every update gets better and better and better. You know, and anyone that's not using Filmora, well, up until this point, hadn't been using Filmora, I think you're puffing muffins if you hadn't at least given it a go. Because it's right. So good. It is it's not a free piece of software, but it doesn't cost much either. They have lost and broken the trust and integrity of the entire community that was building around it. They've slammed and ostracized one of their most outspoken supporters.
Well,
and
that's
the
not
influence
at all.
No. Again,
because, I mean, there's something else. There's something else that I found out where the tech community is finding out about what is going on. And I just watched a short clip of a video that an even bigger tech YouTuber, Linus Tech Tips, is covering this story now. And he's huge. And they you know, they're a lot bigger. Both of them were saying that they haven't ever heard of Filmora because I'm sure they use something like Premiere,
Yeah.
Premiere Pro or something along them lines, and they probably own a business license which covers, their whole business. But even for the smaller creator, and this has been kicking around in my mind and reimagined. Her and I were having a small discussion about this before the podcast. Is why didn't Filmora just do something that was subscription based, to where, okay, there's no lifetime licenses. We're doing away with that. You don't have to pay for an upgrade every year, or don't call it like an upgrade every time we upgrade to 13, 14, whatever. Why don't you just do something like Premiere Pro does and offer like either you pay $60 annually, a subscription, or a monthly fee. If you go annually, you get a discount. If you go month by month, it's going to cost you more. But if they would have went with that sort of pricing, I don't think they would have got as much blowback. Their whole pricing structure for Filmora 12 is just the highest tier is a perpetual license. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what a perpetual license is. Well, does that just cover Filmora 12?
So I just want to clarify something that you said there, because I don't want to get a strike on this channel for misinformation, which we'll cover why we're saying that in a minute.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
We'll cover that in a minute. Let me clarify real quick. So, Wondershare, if you're watching this, we're going to clarify something. So, the way that this edit worked was you don't have to update. Sorry, let me use their terminology. You don't have to upgrade every time. You don't have to go from 9 to 10 to 11 to 12 to 13, blah, 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 blah. You can stay on 11 and get all the updates for 11. And if you're happy with 11, you stay on 11. If you want to go to 12, then you pay. I actually don't have a problem with that pricing structure, that model.
I have a problem with that, though.
Yeah,
I have a problem with that. And what we're using right now, Windows, you have to pay for the upgrade, right? You can continue to not use Windows 11 or use Windows 10, but eventually they're going to stop supporting that. They're going to stop putting out updates, not upgrades, but updates for that version.
That's true.
So you will either have to upgrade or be stuck with, not ever getting any support.
True.
For your current version.
True, right? But let's take a look at Modern Warfare, right? New game comes out every 3 months, it appears. I'm being facetious, but I'm being facetious, but you get my point, right? All right, you buy it. You may not want to buy the next one, but eventually the multiplayer servers and all that for that model of that game will get closed down because there's no one playing it anymore because everyone has upgraded. Technically, they bought the new games. So that's why I don't really have a problem with it. Like, if I wanted to still edit my videos with Filmora 10, I could very successfully, very easily do it, like with the features there. I choose to keep up to date because it makes the videos better. So I take your point. I agree with your point, but I also see the flip side of it. And what it comes back to me is I think I don't have a problem with however they wanted to restructure their business for profitability and sustainability, I would guess, right? And you got to understand that a company doesn't make a decision like this based on a whim either, right? Let me just put my business hat on for a minute. They just don't wake up one day and go, this is what we're going to do. There's obviously, if you read between the lines, there would be a financial reason here, whether it is cash flow or whether it is profitability or sustainability is probably where would probably veer towards. Why they would make a decision that all these people that own lifetime deals is now actually negatively hurting the business. So when a business starts, that's a great thing to get a massive influx of money. But as it grows, obviously your cost to deliver those services increase as well. So that doesn't serve your purpose anymore. So I understand it from a business perspective. What I don't understand from a business perspective is destroying the trust that you've got by just people signing in like you and going, what the hell? I've now got to pay for something I've already bought a license to. And no communications and not even honoring that deal. The way that it was worded at the start when people signed up for it, which is very clear in Daniel Patel's videos, and which you can go online and search them and find them yourself, it's very clear. You had lifetime updates to the most recent version of this software. And they have really destroyed the foundation of the trust that people have in this company. I'll guarantee you, when this is all settled in the dust, they'll stumble on his 2 videos and go, I'm not dealing with that. And they'll go to DaVinci Resolve. Mud sticks.
Well, I've been reading a couple of the comments on his latest video, and they're saying, I didn't know this was going on, but YouTube is pushing this video.
Exactly. We look at Linus Tech Tips that you just said. Had never heard of the thing before, and now they're on the case.
Right. A bigger tech company, tech YouTuber is got traction.
Maybe that was their idea. Any publicity is good publicity, but no, it's not going to work.
Right. And I judging by what I've seen on Twitter, I don't know if you want to get into that. They're feeling the heat. So,
well, rightly so. You know, the guy Daniel Patel makes these videos out of coming from the right place, and they're quickly making a us versus them situation and putting a strike on his channel. Are you serious? One strike's not going to take a channel down. I know it's a shot across the bow, fair enough, but why take that road? All that does is erode the trust in your business and the integrity of your business, because people would be thinking now, okay, if they're going to do this, what else will they do in the future? And I've already seen some of the comments, so on Twitter, they've put out a thing saying, essentially, we're now going to honor it. But what's going to stop people from going? Well, when are they going to change their minds again? What are they going to change on us this time?
Yeah, the second part of that tweet. Well, the first part gives you 2 options. If you paid for the upgrade, you will get a full refund. If you own a lifetime license. If you haven't upgraded, you will get a free upgrade. That was the first part of the tweet.
And you know what? If that's where it had us, and I think at the bottom of that too, it says those that have it will continue to get a free upgrade. Right at the very bottom.
That's what's got me. Does that mean when 13, is it like for 12 only, and then that's it? Or
well, using their own terminologies, their own semantics that they were hedging all this on, it says upgrade. So that means you'll get 13, 14, 15, so on. Because if they try to go back on that, then they got to go back on their whole foundation that they had the whole argument with about upgrade thing. Now, if they had have left it at that minor, you know what? They probably would have saved a bit of face. And yes, their trust had eroded, but they've backed down. They've acknowledged they made a mistake. They now can start building trust back in the community. But then,
within the same tweet,
yeah, I know,
a second part saying we will not be. Oh, I forget the wording, but hang
on, I'll pull it up. It's worth actually reading it.
Quickly turning into a dumpster fire for Filmora.
They're taking, in this instance, they've taken one gigantic step forward and 45 back, because this is what they actually posted. They posted up the statement that we're sorry, we apologize, we've made a mistake. And then the very same tweet, they've gone, thank you for your constructive feedback and suggestions. We are taking this opportunity to reflect on the matter and identify ways to improve. That's great. That's fantastic for a business to say, well done. Good job. Sign off there, Wondershare. Stop. Pull up. You're done. No. However, after reviewing the situation, we have determined that some of the information shared on social media has been misleading. Okay, you want to state that statement? Probably didn't need to, but sign off there. All right? Say, we'll continue to rectify the situation. Just stop. You're getting really close to that mountain. Stop. No. Wondershare Filmora strongly condemns the behavior of spreading false accusation out of malicious intent, and we will take legal action as necessary. Ah, you idiots. All that says to me is if you are making content speaking against our business, we will pursue you. Why would you do this? To me, it's a clear second shot across the bow of Daniel Battelle. Me personally, that's what I reckon it is. Because they've given him a DMCA strike. He's still out speaking against what they're doing at the moment. Obviously, we haven't seen an update today since they've released their backing down, but I'll guarantee you he'll have a go about this comment. I reckon they're trying to get him to remove those 3 videos. That's what I think their goal is here, because those 3 videos are going to show up for eternity in conjunction with Filmora. If someone types that into YouTube, those videos are going to come up, and they will come up forever and currently being pushed by YouTube, particularly his first one, which has got like 500,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
This is the wrong way. Get rid of this stupid statement. Talk to Daniel. You've acknowledged you've made a mistake, Wondershare. You've acknowledged it. You've taken steps to rectify it. You've taken steps to try to rebuild the trust that you were blowing out of the water, and then you go and throw a grenade back in there. Are you idiots? I'm sorry, but are you morons?
And it's just totally handled the wrong way. And all we expect from any business is transparency. Just some honesty. And Daniel, if you go to his YouTube channel, just search Filmora lifetime licenses. I'm sure it's the first thing that'll pop up. He's covered it. That's over since, I think it was Filmora 10, he was saying, or Filmora 9. They've slowly changed the wording within their licensing up to this point to where it may have been planned all along, but the way it just came down was...
Every business that's starting is going to have a long-term... Well, you would hope they'd have a long-term strategy in place. And one of the first steps is, how do you fund the initial stages? Because the initial stages is dang tough. You got staff to pay, you got overheads you got to cover. So how are you going to get capital to cover that before the bills start coming, like your invoices start getting paid, and before you start generating income? It's all out, right? And the thing that a business doesn't start making money for the first 2 years, I'm telling you, it's exactly right. I'm finding that right at the moment. It's a struggle. So no doubt their strategy was, and it was written in such a way that we do these lifetime deals to get massive amounts of capital. I can't say massive. We get a decent amount of capital to start, and then we will phase that out over time. The way they've handled that is appalling. It is disgusting from a business perspective, from an ethics point of view, from integrity, from a trust. Shocking. It's almost like that's what happens when you let the interns loose for a day. And just harking back on your note, if you type Filmora into YouTube, I've just opened up like an incognito tab and typed it in. You get an ad for official film video editor, free download for Windows, which is it. It's a paid ad. The next one is Filmora told YouTube to remove my video by Daniel Battelle. Under that is the official channel of Filmora. So that's what I reckon they're trying to do, is they're, again, trying to bully Daniel into removing his videos because they are getting smashed. Again,
right? The
wrong thing to do.
And he even, I even watched a short where he talked about it. You may have seen the same short where he's like, look, Wondershare, channels can get in trouble for bullying other channels. Mm-hmm. I forget the way he worded it, but
yeah, it was actually
if they're making false accusations, false claims.
Yeah, misuse of the DMCA system.
Yes, that's what it was.
And I'll tell you that I'm not a lawyer and I'm no expert on it, but what they did with him is, I would say, very close to misuse.
Right. Especially when he had a relationship with them before. You can go back in history, and he had a relationship with them before. He was a brand ambassador. He was sponsored by them. He sold copies of lifetime licenses for them. And so they can go back and see that this element that he used, this asset they're claiming, it was authorized at that point in time.
They paid him to use it.
Yes.
It's like saying, we're going to pay you, but then the minute when we're not happy with you using it, we're going to claim it back as our own. Again, the whole way they've handled this is just, I don't get it. I do not get their line of thinking. Now, I don't know much about their background. I don't know where they're from. I don't know anything about that. And I probably should have looked into that before we did the podcast. I don't know. I don't know if that's how they do business in the country with which they are based. But someone in the high up hierarchy there that's dealing with this is not doing a great job. Their PR department is got a big job on their hands here. Even their apology is screwed up. And why are we covering it from a Minecraft channel? Because most of Interrealms use Filmora. We use it.
Right.
And it impacts us. Because, sorry to cut you off. It makes us ask, do we keep using this software?
They've broken trust with us. We're going to have to, and we've learned this product because it's easy to use. Don't get me wrong, I still love it. I still love the program.
Likewise.
But now I have to go and learn DaVinci Resolve. I only put out a couple videos here and there, but for someone that uses, is a full-time content creator and they use Filmora, what are they going through? Are they going to, bite the bullet and pay the upgrade fee, or, have to relearn something new,
and which is
going to slow down their workflow?
As you said before, a lot of the bigger ones are probably using Premiere Pro or those more, the professional standard ones. So, and like Linus Tech Tips, had never heard of it before. So, it says to me that the key demographic for Filmora are people like you and myself who are at the beginning parts of our content creation journey. We don't have time to invest in overcomplicated systems. We like something that's quick and easy that we can get into. And that's why I jumped into Filmora, because it at least doubled my productivity for making videos. So their key demographic, I would guess, is the small to medium content creators. And I think that wouldn't be too far a stretch to say there's a fair comment. And when I say small to medium, I'm saying those from like our level with 2 subscribers up to 500,000, right? In somewhere in that. So the people that they are breaking the trust with are those that don't have a whole lot of money. We're not all the Mr. Beasts of the world that make millions of dollars a month on our videos, right? We got to be very specific about, some of us might not even we're not monetized at all from content creation. So we've got to think about, if we've got this much money to spend, do we keep investing it with a business that is so openly disregarding the trust and integrity of the people that of their own community? Or do we go and look at a free thing like DaVinci Resolve? It might be harder to learn. Eventually you will get your head around it, and eventually it'll do the job. And I have used DaVinci Resolve and it will do the job. And I can honestly tell you, for the first time in 2 years, DaVinci Resolve is now on my machine. If I'm thinking that, I can't be the only one. So how many people are they going to lose of these small part-time content creators? Are they going to lose because of this stupid business decision that they've not stupid business decision, a stupid way of communicating the business decision?
There were a couple of Minecraft YouTubers, bigger ones. I believe Impulse was one I remember seeing was sponsored or was asked by Filmora to try out their editing software.
Yeah, I think B-Dubs was another too. Yeah,
right. So I don't know if they're still using it. If they found it easier to use. What is that going to do? What is this whole drama going to do for Filmora if they reach out to content creators saying, hey, we'll sponsor you, and they're going to say, no, too much drama going on with you guys. I don't even want to touch that.
Well, you look at the trouble that Streamlabs had, because, Streamlabs and OBS, shall we say, are very similar in many respects, and they lost, I think Pokimane was the face of their brand, and, she walked straight away. So, they no doubt lost a lot of people. The best thing that they could do now, remove that threat tweet. They could go and apologize and remove the DMCA strike and get on with business.
Right.
Because they've alienated so many people. And if they're not careful, it doesn't matter what they do, they won't recover. I understand why they've made the decision they have, and I would guess it's a sustainability thing. That would be my guess, cash flow / sustainability. Again, the problem that I've got with it, again, is it comes down to the trust. It comes down to the integrity of it. You've made a commitment to people right back in the day that have been your early adopters that basically you have built your business and your brand on. Support them, honor the commitment to them that have stuck with you all the way through and really helped you get that start. Honor that commitment. And then as a separate thing, if you make a mistake, go, oh, right, yes, we made a mistake, hands up, no problems. Let us backtrack. Let us find a resolution. Don't try bullying tactics. Don't try putting out subtle threats, right? Just deal with integrity. Win back the trust of the community. It's not too late, Wondershare. But if you keep putting out things like you did today or recently, whenever that most recent tweet came out about the situation, you keep firing off those bullets and that passive aggressive nature of it, people are going to go to DaVinci Resolve.
Right.
100%.
Because the more the word spreads, the worse it can get.
Exactly.
And if you don't put those fires out, it's just going to, the whole thing is going to crumble to ashes, and you'll have people going elsewhere.
It's not a case of them putting the fires out, man. They're actually literally lighting them themselves.
Basically.
So, look, who knows where it ends up from here. I'm expecting probably tomorrow Daniel Battelle will probably put out another video. That's what I'm guessing. And I can't wait to see it. I think you and I said we may recover this again in the next podcast with the follow-up. Maybe not for a full episode like this one, but maybe just a follow-up on it to see how it's all played out. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see how it plays out. And if they can at some point pull up, or they're going to fully crash and burn, because at the moment they're on the way down, they're almost at the ground level, and the ejector seat ain't working. So they're in trouble.
It's funny we're having this discussion because people were saying the same thing about Twitter. That the new pilot was in control of the plane, was he was going to crash it if he didn't turn over control to someone else.
But again, that's another topic.
Filmora, if you're watching this, I'll probably update to 12, especially if you're offering me as a lifetime license owner the free upgrade. Just don't come after us because of this podcast, please. But I do like the features. The features that are being added, and I can understand they've been adding a lot of stuff over the years with, I think with 10 and then 11, it's getting more and more robust video editor, and still has that simple to use feel, but with more things. With 12, you've got a lot of AI tools that are going to be included, which I'm excited about. I'd like to use. And adding these features over the years, if they're losing money and they've got to recoup some of that in some way, I understand that. But like you said, the way they went around it is just not right.
No. Or, think of ways to get new members, new paying customers, instead of trying to go and renege on past deals and then play semantics with words. And anyway, we won't rehash it. I think we've covered it to death, to be honest. Let's hope, let's hope they can pull up, because you're right. I like Filmora. I think it's a great program. I'm still using it. And if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, it's been edited in Filmora. I'll be honest. It has been. And at time of recording, it will be. Will the next one be? Maybe the next one will be on DaVinci. I don't know. But let's see what happens. In the last 12 hours, they had put out that tweet that, yes, they were going to honor the deals of the lifetime license holders. But then they fired off another grenade, so I don't think it's over yet. But let's see what happens.
Watching out for what happens with Daniel. So
yeah, and definitely, we've mentioned him a lot, and definitely, just type it into YouTube, Daniel Battelle. Go, follow him if you're into making, video editing and those sort of things. Definitely go check him out. Highly recommend the channel. I've been a subscriber of his for a few years now, ever since I started using Filmora, a couple of years. So yeah, well worth it. And his videos are very good as well, and you will learn a lot from them. But yeah, watch this space, I think. Please forgive us for the lack of Minecraftiness today, but it's an interesting topic and one that does impact a lot of us as content creators. So therefore, we thought it was relevant to discuss.
Mm-hmm. But we will follow this thing as it develops, and we may cover it shortly on the next podcast. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Also.
But with that, though, I think that wraps up our first episode of Season 2 of Minecraft Lab. Minor, thank you for staying up till ridiculous hours of 2023 for you. To all our listeners and viewers now, thank you for joining us on our first episode back, and we will see you in the next Minecraft Lab podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, I am recording, so whenever you want to start.
Whenever I want to start.
Yeah.
Like I have this planned.
You had 2 months to script this.
Like I have this scripted.
Haven't discussed that before. That's a great idea, Minor.
So it's 2023, and I still don't have a script.
I don't think anyone's surprised. That's about all I got for today, Minor.
Yeah.
Yeah. See ya. Bye. All right,
and now comes the time
that we've all been waiting for.
That I don't have scripted. Is how do I outro this?
Drum roll, please.
I got nothing.